Hello, my name is Glenn, as you well know, and I'm here to share with you an opportunity that we have placed before this family of bringing the gospel to people who absolutely have never heard. We heard about this through Pastor Roland E.K. As many of you know him, he's been here many times to the conference. We've been supporting him for a while. But he told us about some people that had never heard, very primitive, still dressed in leaves and such as that, and I just couldn't hardly believe. It'd been a prayer of mine. It's been a search to actually go back in time to the days of Tarzan, when he swung upon the vine and come to people that were very primitive, and here we are. What an opportunity we have before us. You know, these Coma people got there, according to what Roland told us, that a couple centuries ago, the Muslims were coming through that part of the country. And what they were doing, they were actually persecuting and killing people who would not become Muslim. So these people began running up the mountain, a whole bunch of them, and they got to a place and they began to throw the stones down the Muslims who were on horseback. And so the Muslims decided just to let them go. Well, meanwhile, the Coma people just stayed up there, and they made a whole life, and they were forgotten. And suddenly, they were found again. By God's grace, some people went up there and discovered these folk that are up there living with, there's no businesses, there's no nothing. In fact, Roland told a story that when he went up there, he turned on something simple like a flashlight. And they were all amazed, and it was almost a riot took place. How can a torch not have a flame? That's what we're dealing with. What a wonderful thing. Well, let me tell you how we started this journey. We started this journey, of course, by flying out of the States, and we ended up over there in Lagos, and from Lagos we went to Abuja, and Abuja, then to Yola, and then from Yola we got into a Jeep. They met us there, and we ended up traveling many hours by this Jeep, and started out like most journeys do, on a nice road, and the road got worse to a gravel road, and then from a gravel road you ended up into two ruts. And these ruts were just like two cows wandering, meandering around, and no one knew where they were going to go. And going through little bitty villages and whatnot, until we came to a plain right before the mountain. And the guy you're going to see, the first pictures of this you're going to see, his name is Brother Johnson, and actually he's a man that's a missionary from Nigeria that has laid down his job, took his family to live in this plain and to help in ministering to the Coma people, wanted to bring the gospel there. And so then what is taken on is a powerful story. We take off, we walk 8 miles across the plain, and you'll see that Jim Swihart, Mike Young, and myself, we're a little out of shape, maybe a lot out of shape, as we went through this area. And you're going to begin to see and hear the things that we've seen that for us was just startling, and yet it was just, to me, as a dream come true. And then we climbed this mountain. You hear me huffing and puffing, and to get up this mountain, you'll see all of us struggling as we climb this mountain. We start to get on right near the top of this mountain, and you could hear the people, and the people were dancing, and they were yelling, and they were singing, and instruments were blowing. And as we were greeted in, we were the first white men ever to be on top of this mountain. And these people had a pastor before, but as you'll hear in the tape, it was basically run off, wasn't taken care of. And so as I seen these people, they were like sheep without a shepherd. And you know what happened? They returned to idol worship once again. And so now, what an opportunity. Now, there's 39 mountains, as you're going to hear, and we were on the first mountain, and we're looking at going to the other 38 mountains where people have never heard the gospel before. I want you to watch this video. You just enjoy it. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it as we go through this, and I'll see you in a few minutes. The Coma at the bottom of the mountain. This is the vehicle we came in. The big guns. Jimmy, here's Mike looking good here. Brother Roland. Roughly 6 in the morning. And here we are, we're coming in. Last night we had slept here. Here you can see where we slept. In fact, Jim is
still napping. You can see how we slept. Mike, and there's Jim. We're now going to go into the inside of the camp.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. This is their kitchen. My wife always wanted a double oven. There's one. There's two. This is the bathroom right here. This is where they take their baths. This is where you go to the bathroom. There's the lid that you remove to go to the other bathroom. Again, here is the kitchen.
This is our kitchen.
And Mama taking care of the baby at the same time.
Yes.
You can see over here, she's plucking the chicken, taking care of the baby. There's where we're headed. And this is the brick. Inside is the rice.
Now, when you build this,
grass,
you build it like you do your
and they
house,
mix it
you
in
put a
like
wall
they
up
did in
and then put a
Egyptian
roof
times.
over it.
And the men would stomp it and mix it. Then they make it into blocks, and then they're going to make the church building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flew from Lagos to Abuja. We drove from Abuja to this place on that road. And the next step
He's waiting for you, right?
is the Nigerian taxi.
And back here, that's the accelerator. That's the accelerator. There's Jim sitting on his. This has been a 1 hour. Coma people wearing leaves. It's a young woman.
Really?
And
She's an old lady.
They farm, they come from 6 to 6 in the evening.
Ah, so they work very hard.
Very hard. The only source of living here is farming.
We are singing, "Welcome, O men of God." We welcome you to preach the gospel. Hear them playing. Feel closer for them drums. Remember sharp. There it is. Come on up here, listen to this. There's Mike Young.
Coming into the village that they all came out to welcome us from. There's a praise band going before us.
This is the mountain. I don't know if we can pick it up. We are climbing up. Jim and my friend Jim and myself are far ahead of the others. See them coming behind us down the mountain. We've been traveling a few hours, a steady pace straight up. We came from there, the plains. See the plane right there. And here we are. Coming up, there they are. Coming up the mountain of the Lord. There's Mike. I'm going to try to zoom in on Mike. He's quarter mile. He had some heat stroke. We're going to go up.
Show the guy up there singing.
We're heading there. Hey! This is the path. Again, we've been walking all day, and we are making room. I think I can see Jim coming down. I'll search for Jim. Again, there's Jim coming. How you doing there, Jim?
I'm tired.
Tired? This is a man that's a little touched who came to visit us. He is blowing to the others. We've come. I don't know if I can get this close. He has ashes. Ashes on his face. Like a man going to war. The final leg of going up the hill.